Title of the first section today is Simplify Exponents. In this section, we'll simplify expressions that have exponents. First problem is 2 to the power 3 or 2 to the third power. 2 to the third power means the number 2 times itself 3 times. So we'll have 2 times 2 times 2. Multiplying this out, 2 times 2 would be 4, times 2 more would be 8. So 2 to the third power is equal to 8. Second question, 4 to the second power, or 4 squared. Again, we'll take the number 4 and multiply by itself 2 times. So we'll have 4 times 4. Multiplying that out, we'll have 16. Next question, in parentheses, negative 2 to the fourth power. We'll have negative 2 times itself 4 times. So negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2. Multiplying this out, negative 2 times negative 2 would be positive 4. And negative 2 times negative 2 would also be positive 4. Multiplying 4 times 4, we'll have the answer of positive 16. So negative 2 to the fourth power would be 16. Last question for the section, negative 5 to the second power. In this question, we have negative 5 to the second power. The exponent only goes to the number 5, not to the negative. In the previous problem, the exponent went to the entire parentheses, negative 2. But in this problem, the negative will stay outside, and we'll have 5 squared, which would be 5 times 5. If you remember PEMDAS, we'll do exponents first, and then multiply by the negative. So in this case, we'll do the exponent, which is multiplying by 5, and then add the negative on after. So 5 times 5 would be 25, and putting the negative on there, we'll have negative 25. So if the negative is inside the parentheses, we'll multiply by negative numbers. If there is no parentheses, just the negative stays outside, and you'll multiply the positive numbers. Title of the last section today is 0 and negative exponents. In this section, we'll solve questions that have 0 exponents and also have negative exponents. Two definitions for this section. X to the 0 power, where x can be any number or any variable. This will always equal 1. So any number or any variable to the 0 power equals 1. And the second definition, x to the negative 1 power. Again, x could be any number or any variable. Negative exponents will make a fraction and take the reciprocal of the number or variable. In this case, x, we'll put on the bottom of the fraction, and the exponent will become a positive 1. If there's no other numbers in the question, we'll put a 1 on the top. So x to the negative 1 is equal to 1 over x. First question for the section, 10 to the 0 power. 10 to the 0 power, looking back at the definition, any number, any variable to the 0 power equals 1. So 10 to the 0 power would equal 1. Second question, negative 16 to the 0 power. Again, any number to the 0 power equals 1. The negative, though, does not go with the exponent. The 0 only goes with the number. If there's no parentheses, the negative would stay with your answer, and 16 to the 0 power would be 1. So the answer to this question would be negative 1. Next problem, 5 to the negative 1 power. Anytime you have a negative exponent, we can make a fraction. And if this number is on top of the original fraction or there is no fraction, we can put the 5 on the bottom, and the negative exponent, negative 1, changes to positive 1. If there's no other numbers for the numerator, we can add a 1. So we'll have 1 over 5 to the first power, which is the same as 1 over 5, or the fraction 1/5. Next question is 6 to the negative 2 power. Like the negative 1 exponent, a negative exponent, negative 2, means we'll have a fraction for the answer. If it's 6 to the negative 2, we'll put the 6 on the bottom of the fraction. And instead of negative 2, we'll rewrite this as positive 2. So anytime you have a negative exponent, you can take the reciprocal, and then the exponent changes from negative to positive. And again, if there's no number or no variables on top, we can add a 1. So our final answer would be 1 over 6 to the second power would be 6 times 6. So we'll have 1 over 36 for the answer. And last question for the section, negative 3 to the negative third power. Again, negative exponents means we'll have a fraction. The number 3 we can write on bottom of the fraction. Keep in mind the negative outside does not go with the exponent, so just the 3 would move to the bottom, and the negative 3 exponent we can change to a positive 3. The negative that we have left over, we can leave that on top, making it negative 1. And our final answer, negative 1, will stay the same. 3 to the third power would be 3 times 3 times 3, which would be 27. So our final answer is negative 1 over 27.